We've brought you 20 games in 7 nights, and we've got 4 more on the way tonight. Welcome back to the NBA playoffs, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. Here on TNT, we're going to start you off with more of that stuff. The Knicks and the Heat. New York's on the ropes. We'll follow that up with Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers going to Portland. The Lakers with a chance to close out J.R. Rider and the Blazers in Game 4. Meantime, going on right now on TBS, Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers trying to close out Shawn Kemp and the Cleveland Cavaliers as they play at Gund Arena. To be followed by Gary Payton and the Sonics down 2-1 to the surprising Timberwolves and Kevin Garnett. So, who is going to join the Bulls and the Spurs in the conference semifinals, you ask? You're going to have to sit back and watch. Right now, let's go to the Garden, where the Knicks face elimination.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Some things in life are bad, they can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. This'll help things turn out for the best. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.
You to a continuation of the 1998 NBA playoffs on TNT. Unfortunately for the New York Knicks, this is as close as Patrick Ewing will get to a uniform again tonight. Game 4 in this heated series between the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks from Madison Square Garden. Hi once again, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Doc Rivers. Welcome back to the Garden in Midtown Manhattan. The Miami Heat lost home court advantage last weekend, regained it with a victory here on Tuesday night. Now the New York Knicks face elimination unless they can come back and win tonight. And Doc, we talked about this last week. The theme you thought was going to be the play of the guards, and indeed that has been the domination of the game.
Yeah, it's still the guard play. We're going into Game 4 now. In the first 3 games, the team who had the most points from their guards won the game. And in Game 3 it was really interesting. Both of the key guys, Allen Houston and Tim Hardaway, had big games. But I thought it was the way Tim Hardaway had his game. He set everyone up, and especially in the first quarter where Miami has a huge advantage, he got Bashawn Leonard involved, he got Eric Murdoch involved, and Tim Hardaway's play was big.
Well, continuing with that theme of the guards, John Starks had a big game too on Sunday in Miami. Was not as effective here on Tuesday night. John's mother had cancer surgery back in his hometown of Tulsa. He went back to see her, returned, and will play tonight. But don't know how effective he'll be. And also Allen Houston and what's happened to him in the fourth quarter.
Well, it wasn't all his fault. He had a great first quarter in Game 3, 18 points. But from that point on, he was open a lot, didn't get the ball. Jeff Van Gundy simply said it was a mistake. Our guard has to do a better job of finding the guys who are hot. The first quarter, Allen Houston's hot. Second half, Larry Johnson was hot. Neither one of them touched the ball. Not good.
Well, the Miami Heat came on the floor a while ago, and Doc looked at him and said, they got a little bit of swagger. It's the Knicks who face elimination unless they can win tonight.
The Heat and the Knicks, followed by the Lakers and the Blazers right here on TNT. We welcome you back to another playoff night in our Atlanta studio. Along with Derek Harper and Kenny Smith, I'm Ernie Johnson. Thanks for being here again tonight. Derek, you played for Pat Riley. He's got a chance to close out a series. What's the pregame speech like?
Well, he's telling this team right now to seize the moment, to go for it, hold nothing back. There's no use going back to Miami. He's really getting his team pumped up to play. And when I played for him, we needed seat belts after a pregame speech from Riley. So he's going to go for it.
Airbag about to pop out there in the locker room. How about the Knicks now? What do they do to survive this thing?
Well, the Knicks, I think they're playing with a great deal of intensity, so they keep the intensity up. But the other thing that they had in Game 2 when they did win was a third scorer. If they can get someone else to score 15 points or more, they can still keep this series alive and go back to Miami in the sun and for one more day.
More of this stuff to come tonight here on TNT. We tip it off with the Knicks and the Heat. Thanks for being here, folks.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Ford, makers of vehicles that are built to last. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You don't have to live thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up. And by Nike.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, Game 4, Round 1. The Miami Heat and the New York Knicks, with Miami leading in the series 2-1. Rashawn Leonard, Tim Hardaway will start again in the backcourt. Jamal Mashburn starts for Dan Marley tonight. Alonzo Mourning at center, and P.J. Brown at the other forward. And for the New York Knicks, Charlie Ward, Allen Houston as guards, Larry Johnson, Chris Dudley, and Charles Oakley up front. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Because of his emotional play, John Starks has been called the heart and soul of the Knicks. However, tonight his heart goes out to his mother and grandmother, both gravely ill with cancer. Starks was in Tulsa this morning to be at his mother's side following surgery. When she woke and saw his face, a smile came to her face, a signal that he says that she had survived surgery in good spirits. His teammates held a prayer session about 45 minutes ago, expressing their empathy and sentiments. Vern?
All right, Craig, thank you. The officiating crew tonight, Hugh Evans, Tom Washington, and Joe Fort. And we are set to go. Here's Hardaway. Rashawn Leonard kicks it back for Hardaway. And Alonzo Mourning guarded by Chris Dudley. Mourning short with his first shot. Dudley starting for the second game in a row, but limited to only 5 minutes in the first quarter here on Tuesday night.
Well, I think he did his job early. He got Alonzo frustrated early, got him in foul trouble, so they didn't need him much more.
Now Charlie Ward. Oakley. Off the mark, Jamal Mashburn chases it down to Miami. Loose ball, Houston, and it's going to be picked up by Rashawn Leonard, who was then fouled by Larry Johnson.
Yeah, but if you're Jeff Van Gundy, you're happy already. Charles Oakley took a shot. He didn't take a shot until the middle of the third quarter in Game 3, and I think it's significant. I think he's going to come out, look for shots. That's important for New York. They need his points.
Now Tim Hardaway. Charlie Ward guards him. Hardaway quick starts in both games 1 and 3. Here's Leonard. Speaking of quick starts, he had a career high of 28 points in Game 3 here. Mourning. Second jumper, this one goes.
Yeah, if you're Pat Riley, you are loving to see that. You like seeing Alonzo make it. You know what I think Rashawn Leonard is doing to Allen Houston also? He's going back at him. Rashawn Leonard had 28 points. That made Allen Houston play defense.
Oakley, quick pass to Larry Johnson. Takes Mourning off a dribble. In the lane, he'll go to the free throw line.
Now, Larry Johnson has been just terrific in this series so far. I mean, his numbers are amazing, Vern. 21 points. He's shooting 52% from the field. I mean, it's amazing what he's doing.
And playing on bad ankles. P.J. Brown called for the foul. Neither of these teams brought back fond memories of great free throw shooting teams on Tuesday.
No, as a matter of fact, game 3 was a sloppy game. It was not a very well-played basketball game, but it was a game played with emotion. And what Jeff Van Gundy and Pat Riley said is one thing to play with emotion. There's another thing to play well.
2-1, here's Hardaway. Goes right by Charlie Ward. And knocked out of bounds, touched last by New York.
But again, Tim Hardaway can get to the bucket. The difference was having Dudley in the game. He can change shots. Hardaway missed that shot because Dudley was coming.
Johnson guards the inbound pass, and that's thrown away. First turnover for Miami. One theme, Doc, in each of the 3 games played thus far has been Miami's domination in the early going in the first quarter. How important for New York, in this case, to keep it close?
Well, I think it's very important. If you look at the offensive talent in both teams, you got Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning, you know they're going to play well. So if you're the Knicks, you don't want to have to play in a hole because the chance of you getting out of that hole is not very good.
The reason we lingered on that close-up of Alonzo Mourning is, of course, the absence of the mask that he's worn for the past month. Here's Johnson, fractured his cheekbone back in early April, and he's hated that mask, and he's finally dumped it. Here's Mashburn for 3.
Well, I think he is back. I think last game, 4 for 5 from the field. You know, everyone talked about Leonard and Marty Carlin, but I think Mashburn arrived in the first quarter yesterday also.
Jamal Mashburn, 4 of 5 in that game 3. Sat out 31 games with a broken thumb at the end of the season. Here's Johnson, Oakley. 5 on the shot clock. Larry Johnson, shot clock violation.
I don't think he knew until it was too late. You can see him look at the other end at the shot clock, but it was already on 1. It was nothing he could do.
After playing relatively error-free basketball down in Miami, the Knicks had 22 turnovers in the loss Tuesday. Miami had 18, so as you said, kind of sloppy. Here's P.J. Brown with Oakley on it.
And 22 and 18 for 2 teams who are not running is a lot of turnovers.
Leonard, catch and shoot. Yes. Rashawn Leonard, whose regular season numbers in 4 meetings with New York were really off.
Well, you know, Pat Riley told me, he said he told them before the series that he would not be denied. He would get his shots off, and he's done that.
Houston. Not there. Offensive board, Larry Johnson. And Charlie Ward took his time before firing and then missing.
Yeah, and that tells you he's a little hesitant. He has to take that shot quickly. But look at the bottom of the screen and watch Rashawn Leonard curl and shoot. No hand in the face. And that's what is bothering Jeff Van Gundy more than anything. They're giving great shooters free shots.
22nd timeout is called. P.J. Brown limping a little as he goes over to the side.
But once again, 7-1, Heat off to a quick start.
Well, they've scored 30 in each of the first 3 games. New York yet to hit from the field. They're a donut for 4 right now. Well, Alonzo Mourning hasn't liked it, but he's looked a little bit like that guy that starred on Broadway.
Yeah, he has. You can't tell me that hasn't affected his play somewhat. And we really haven't touched on it much. But having something on your face and you're looking through it when you're trying to shoot, it's tough. Especially if you have to wear that thing.
A phantom no more. And let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Vern, Doc, for the first time in practice today, Alonzo went through the whole practice session without the mask. And he was so pleased with the peripheral vision and the way he was shooting that he asked Coach to be all right if he didn't wear it. And they said, go ahead if you feel comfortable.
All right, Craig. 6-point Miami lead. Mashburn sets the pick for Hardaway and then gets the pass in return. Short off the front rim, and Johnson clears for New York. Knicks still looking for their first field goal. Chris Mills has come on during the 22nd timeout, replacing Dudley. Here's Oakley's second shot, and he gets the first one.
Well, he said in the locker room today that he was going to shoot the basketball. And when he said it, Chris Childs was standing next to him and said, you should shoot more tonight.
Alonzo Mourning established really deep position in the post.
Yeah, with Chris Dudley not guarding him, if he gets good post position, he's probably going to make the shot, especially now that he can see.
Marty Conlon on the floor. He had a really fine game here Tuesday night.
And he's being rewarded for it by being in the game already now.
Johnson with the follow. It's good. And he'll get a free throw. There's Marty Conlon.
You know, one thing, Larry Johnson, he does not get up as high as he used to get, but he uses his body so well. He's the one guy in Game 3 that caused everyone to foul him.
Johnson back at the free throw line. Conlon picks up the foul.
You gotta hit. Here we go.
And the margin is 3, 9-6. Hardaway and Charlie Ward.
Well, Lonzo Mourning was talking how important it is for them to get off to another good start, Vern. He said, we don't want this nutty crowd to get involved in the game.
Oakley, good job defensively. Mourning turns and takes the jumper, and Chris Mills gets the miss.
And that's exactly what they want him to do, make turnaround jump shots.
Ward stripped as he drives. Loose ball saved by Houston. Looks for Johnson. Penetrates, spins. Whoa! Alonzo Mourning is there.
Charlie Ward.
But Charlie Ward.
I've always wanted to say this. Charlie Ward with the interception.
Mashburn, no. Mourning chased down by Ward. Here comes New York. Left side kicked by Deshaun Leonard. But the Knicks with a bit of a run. They climb back within one. Spike Lee is back. He missed Tuesday night's game.
The Knicks have cut Miami's lead to 1. Right now, Miami is playing without P.J. Brown, fighting for a rebound with Chris Dudley. Dudley stepped on P.J.'s foot. He has gone to the locker room, has been diagnosed with a slight sprained ankle. Howard is being retaped, and he is expected back shortly. Vern, Doc.
All right, one of the surprises, Craig, in this series has been New York's rebounding edge, minus Patrick Ewing, but Miami did out-rebound them by 1.
Yeah, but it was still even in the offensive rebounding category, which you think without Patrick Ewing, that's a surprise. It's a surprise to Van Gundy, and it's a surprise to Riley.
Here's Charlie Ward. Tries to go deep to Larry Johnson. Marty Conlon guards him. The double from Mashburn. Chris Mills for 3, and New York has a lead.
Well, so far in this game, guys who have been reluctant to shoot the basketball for New York are not hesitating, and they're shooting the ball.
First New York lead. They were up 2-0 in game 2, but that was the only lead in that ball game. Now here's Hardaway in the post. Backing Charlie Ward. Goes baseline with a scoop shot and got the roll.
You know, I don't think Jeff Van Gundy minds that. He scored on his own. No one else got involved. I think that's what the Knicks want.
At the other end, Houston misses again. 0 for his first 3. Hardaway driving. Draws the foul. Will go to the free throw line.
Take a look at Tim Hardaway on the post, and people wonder he's a small guy. But look how powerful he is down low, and I'm being nice by saying powerful down low. He is strong, establishes the position, and he can make the shots. You know what I mean, right, Vern?
Yeah, I did. I was with you all the way.
He's a Chicago guy, and I'll spare him.
I still remember him saying that he grew up watching you and Isaiah on the playground. How does that make you feel?
Old. Very old.
13-11. Hardaway has turned into one of the premier point guards in this league.
He has, and growing up, no one knew about him.
Played collegiately at the University of Texas at El Paso. Oakley got another one.
You know, before game 1, we can remember Pat Riley saying 2 guys bothered him offensively, Allen Houston and Charles Oakley. And for 3 games, Miami has done a nice job of shutting Charles Oakley out.
Conlon kicks it right side. Mashburn kicks it back to Conlon. Not there. Rebound. Oakley. Larry Johnson backs in on Conlon. Conlon. Nope. And Marty Conlon gets the rebound from Miami. Here's Hardaway with the 3-point effort. Oakley looks down court, settles for Allen Houston. Houston. Deshaun Leonard with the foul.
And right now, the Knicks are really in a nice flow offensively. And what you like, both of their key guys are getting the ball. I mean, Allen Houston coming at you. People just think of him as a shooter. He is a scorer. He's a slasher. He can shoot the ball off the dribble. Probably shoots it better when he's going off the dribble.
P.J. Brown back from the locker room is back on the floor. Marty Conlon sits for Pat Riley. 5 to go, opening quarter. Oakley, 2 out of his first 3. Deshaun Leonard on Houston. P.J. Brown comes to help, and Allen Houston is 0 for 4. Had the torrid start in the first quarter the other night. Hardaway for 3.
Open look. The Knicks have been caught throughout this series helping but not getting back in time to the shooters.
And it's a 3-point Miami lead. Houston. There it is.
He shot that before P.J. Brown could get there. The last time P.J. Brown was able to help, that time he shot it too quick.
Mourning with Oakley now defending. Touch last by Oakley.
Well, Pat Riley wants him to face up. So far, all he does is take the turnaround jump shot. That's not what Riley wants. He wants him to catch and turn, just what he's doing there. But then he turns his back. He has to keep facing the bucket. He has a height advantage. He can get his shot off whenever he wants to.
Amazing how in the 2 wins, Mourning's numbers have not been big. But in the game here, he had 2 key blocks in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I thought he made his presence felt at the end of that game defensively.
Hardaway up and under and off the glass for 2. Tim Hardaway has scored the last 9 Miami points. And the Heat up by 3. Houston out of a double team out to Johnson. Now Oakley measures the shot, takes it in and out.
I don't think he was ready for that. I think he assumed that Mills was going to take that shot.
3.5 to go first quarter. Larry Johnson on Mashburn. Alonzo Mourning drives on Oakley off the front rim.
But he got there, he turned, he faced the bucket, and he went around. That was a late call.
Boy, was it.
But watch him, he's going to turn and face. And that little bit there, that little ball fake, that's a bad call.
That was called on Chris Mills.
Yeah, and if Chris Mills is the rim, then that's where the foul came from, because the rim blocked Alonzo's shot, and that was it. The only thing you can think is maybe he fouled him down low. Up top, there was no foul. Down low, there was no foul.
My goodness. Mourning with one more. 1 of 2 at the line. 4-point Miami lead. 19-15. Alley-oop. Allen Houston was not ready for it. Houston does manage to save it, but then it goes right to Mashburn, and here comes Miami. Hardaway for 3. Another one.
He's feeling it. And right now, you like what he's doing. He's not getting other guys involved, but he's feeling it. So he's going to put up as many numbers as he can, and that is really smart. When you got it, you go with it.
Tim Hardaway, 4 of 6. 12 first quarter points. Miami by 7.
When Tim is flowing, I think that's when the team is going, because he's such a great scorer. But when he's really flowing is when he's getting other guys involved. He's being very aggressive against pick and rolls. He's splitting the pick and roll. He's getting into the paint. He's being aggressive. He's drawing defenders, and he's kicking it out to our shooters. And, you know, when Tim is doing that and everybody's really following his lead, that's when we're a tough team.
Back to the scoring role tonight.
Yeah, well, you know, Pat Riley said Tim has to learn how to pick his spots. He needs to get the team involved. Right now, he's picking his spot early. He's going after it right now. He's feeling it. And when you feel it with that type of talent, you have to go for it. So he's going to try to get his points. But he has 12 points. He has 3 assists, too. So he's doing everything right now.
And he has forced Jeff Van Gundy to make a switch. John Starks is coming onto the floor now.
I mean, you look at Tim Hardaway, he's accounted for 18 of their 22 points with either an assist or a basket. So I would say he's doing it all around. John Starks coming in at the point guard position.
Well, Charlie Ward is still out there. I thought it's for Allen Houston.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought he was going to make a defensive change, and Starks is on the floor. Again, if you missed the opening of the broadcast, John Starks made a trip back to his home of Tulsa. His mom had cancer surgery. His grandmother with whom he's very close, has been suffering from cancer for the last couple of months as well.
Well, and that's the human side of the game. You know, we just see people on the court, and we don't know why they're struggling. We think sometimes they're dogging it. What sometimes you don't understand is that guys have personal lives.
Chris Mills is going to get called for this foul. That's his second. Could this be a flop?
Most of the time. When it's away from the bucket, that's just a fall. Is what that is. There's a new term. It's an unintentional flop.
Mashburn, Mills. Ward comes to help. And there's Chris Mills. Into the hands of John Starks. Johnson. Mills. Knocked away from behind. That'll be out of bounds, and New York will inbound.
Well, there's been a ton of reaching right now. Good reaching. Not reaching where guys are committing fouls. A lot of flicks. No one's protecting the ball when they get past their man.
Charlie Ward. Oakley.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy said they need 3 guys to score, and he assumed the 2 guys would be Allen Houston and Larry Johnson. Tonight, the 3rd guy is Charles Oakley.
And Chris Childs is getting ready to come on for the Knicks. Here's Mourning by Oakley for 2.
When he's patient, takes his time, he can score. When he takes that quick turnaround jump shot, he's falling right into Knick defense.
Alonzo Mourning. John Starks.
Well, I tell you, I just think the goaltending is the toughest call to make, because if that was goaltending, but I think every time that's a tough call.
Now Hardaway. Mashburn thought about the 3. Johnson comes out. Leonard catch and shoot. Tipped by P.J. Brown and kept alive for Miami. Here's Tim Hardaway. Right to John Starks.
Never saw him.
And Mashburn commits the foul.
Smart foul, obviously. You know, what he had to do is get in front of the ball, and he did that. He made a play on the ball. So that's just smart. You can see Hardaway never saw John Starks. He thought that was Mashburn coming. He thought Mashburn would step in instead of fade away.
Shoots one more. How about the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Boy, it's amazing thing to watch. And I love it, watching the energy of those young guys play basketball. Kevin Garnett, Anthony Peeler, again. I mean, here's a guy who was on the bench in Vancouver, couldn't get off, goes to Minnesota, and he's a superstar.
Lakers and Blazers also game 4 tonight. That's the second game on TNT. Starks hits them both. And that cuts the margin to 3, 24-21. Hardaway, P.J. Brown, Eric Murdoch, who has had terrific games 1 and 3, is on the floor. Back it goes to Brown. Underneath Alonzo Mourning, and it's stolen. Here's Chris Childs. Left side, Starks for 3. Nick Ball.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy said every first quarter we've come out with no energy. Right now, he has to be pretty pleased because they're playing with a ton of injuries. They've been down 9.7 points every first quarter, so already a victory for them.
Starks got it.
He's playing with a lot of spirit. Here's a guy who was at a hospital all last night, gets on a plane this morning.
John Starks with 7 points, the last 7, as a matter of fact, for the Knicks. Hardaway, a big first quarter. Starks guards him. Doesn't matter.
That's a leader. You know, that shot won't show up. It'll just say made shot. But those are big shots when another team is making a run, and you stop it with a shot. That's smart basketball.
14 first quarter points for Tim Hardaway. Entry pass, Starks, Oakley. Rejected by Mourning.
Oh, what a play.
Leonard, three-pointer. Nope. Oakley tracks it down. We played 1 at the Garden in game 4, first round. Tim Hardaway 14 points on 5 of 7 from the field.
Huge.
And for the 4th consecutive game, the Miami Heat have a first quarter lead. However, tonight, it's only 3. Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, New York City. Game 4, first round. The Miami Heat and the New York Knicks. With the Miami Heat leading in the series 2-1, and the Knicks facing elimination. The Bulls routed the Nets last night across the Hudson River. Tim Duncan, and congratulations to the San Antonio Spurs as they advance to the second round. And the Minnesota Timberwolves and Houston Rockets going for upsets. Billy Crystal and John McEnroe among those gathered here tonight. Tom Brokaw can talk about it. Well,
excited.
Maybe he's a little more boring than I thought.
Michael Douglas.
And remember last year when the coach of Georgetown University watched Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning, 2 of his stars, compete in the conference semifinals. Well, Coach Thompson here tonight. Terry Cummings had a terrific effort off the bench in Game 2 down in Miami on Sunday. Less effective here Tuesday. He's back on the floor. And Starks takes it strong to the basket and will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and that shot had no chance of going in. He was driving. He saw Alonzo Mourning, and right when he saw him, he went right at Alonzo. Really didn't go after the basket. He went after Alonzo to get a foul. And you can see Alonzo trying to get out of the way and doesn't really like that hug from Oakland.
First foul of the night on Alonzo Mourning. So Starks gets the first.
You know what's been great about this series is it's been very clean. You know, and everyone, even when you talk to people who haven't watched the series, they still are calling it a bloodbath series, and it hasn't been that. It's been clean play. Hasn't been great play, but it's been clean play.
Now, there have been no incidents?
That's good.
Incidents, There hasn't been any trouble.
Exactly.
26-24. Eric Murdoch. Terrific game here on Tuesday. P.J. Brown for 2. So Cummings guards Mourning. Oakley was out on P.J. Brown. Now Starks and Chris Childs in the backcourt for New York. Chris Mills, Terry Cummings, and Charles Oakley complete the 5. Starks off the screen. Mills, and in the corner, Chris Childs, quick shot. Nope. Rebound Brown.
And for the Knicks, you look at the unit they have on the floor, and who's going to score?
Alonzo Mourning gets a quick pass from Hardaway at the Miami end.
Well, that play right there is what concerned Jeff Van Gundy coming into this series. He said Alonzo Mourning is one of the better centers in this league, changing sides of the court from offense to defense or defense to offense.
Now let's watch Alonzo Mourning run.
I mean, watch him right here. I mean, right when this shot goes up, he is off and running. And he can really run. And he just keeps moseying on down the floor. No one picks him up. But he always runs straight down the middle of the floor.
It wasn't the greatest transition defense I've ever seen.
Because that was a jog. Alonzo.
Here's Starks. Tries the reverse layup. And Eric Murdoch has it for the Miami Heat. Hardaway. 2 more.
And right now, Tim Hardaway is getting his own thing going. Right now, he'll worry about getting everyone else involved later.
And it's back to an 8-point margin now for the Miami Heat. 16 Tim Hardaway points. Exactly half of Miami's total. It has been an explosive first quarter for Tim Hardaway of Miami.
Yeah, it really has, and it's so much different from Game 3. But what you like is he's filling it, so he's going forward. The only thing that would concern you if you're Pat Riley, when he stopped filling it, no one else has gotten involved, and will they hit a cold streak?
Hardaway had a very productive Game 3, but in a different sense in the first quarter. You saw the comparative statistics. Allen Houston's off to a cold start tonight, 1 of 5. Back on the floor now. Giles, Starks, Allen Houston, Cummings, and Oakley. Giles. Nice move.
And that's a smart play. His first shot didn't go in. Instead of forcing another three-pointer, he sees he has Alonzo Mourning coming at him, put it on the floor, go around, and that's what Eric Murdoch has done the entire series.
And John Starks puts a body on Tim Hardaway.
Well, they like that matchup, the Knicks, because Starks is a bigger guy. They think he can do a better job on a post on Hardaway.
Foul called on New York. On Cummings, that's his first. Terry Cummings had to go into the locker room Tuesday night to have a little toe on his left foot x-rayed. X-ray's negative, but still painful, so hobbled a little bit tonight. Giles slips, Murdoch penetrates, puts the jumper up. Giles kicks it in the corner for Starks, back to Houston. Spots up the three, still not there.
No, and that was a wide open shot for him. 1 for 6 for Allen Houston.
9:18 to go in the first half of play. And Hardaway starts.
Oh, my.
Wow.
What a move.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. And you know what was interesting? Alonzo Mourning had a post-up play. He wanted it and was not happy he had to clear out. After he made the shot, Alonzo Mourning goes up and pats him on the back and like, yeah, you're right. Good shot.
Hardaway 7 of 9 for 18 points. Mashburn guarding Allen Houston.
And watch this, and watch his left arm stick out a little bit. Clears himself away. And then look, bang. Boy, he stopped and went back. What a move. That's better than a crossover dribble.
Yes. Well, Hardaway is going to get a rest to the relief of the New York fans here.
Yeah, and Jeff Van Gundy. Now, you watch Tim Hardaway get to the bucket, and Jeff Van Gundy was talking about this before the game. He is a little disappointed that when guys get to the bucket, if they have a layup, that the Knicks are not knocking guys down and making them shoot free throws.
Starks. Rashawn Leonard. Cummings. Rejected by Mourning and a foul called.
But the Knicks right now, their offense is almost by happenstance. I mean, it's deflections. They're coming up with the loose balls and drawing fouls. I mean, Alonzo Mourning right now is having a great defensive basketball game.
Did pick up his second foul on the second effort. Well, lip readers delight in that one. It's easier to read his lips without the mask.
Yeah. And it's good to see his face. You know, as big as he is, when he smiles, he's a nice-looking guy. I won't tell anyone else that.
Marty Conlon getting ready to reappear now. And Oakley shoots another. 6-point game, Miami. Rashawn Leonard, Eric Murdoch. Mourning and Brown. Murdoch pops out from the baseline. They come right to Mashburn. P.J. Brown will go to the free throw line.
You watch the two teams play. Offensively, it looks like Miami get every shot they want, and it looks pretty easy getting into their offense. And you look on the other end, and every single bucket looks like a struggle for the Knicks. Yet it's a 6-point game.
Yes. P.J. Brown shoots two. Well, Conlon and Murdoch, both members of the Providence University team, Providence College team, when Jeff Van Gundy was an assistant coach there. Started as a grad assistant under Rick Pitino. Pitino moved on. Gordon Chiesa was a coach.
And Marty Conlon quit that team, citing verbal abuse. Oh, my. I didn't know you could get that in college.
Van Gundy was reminiscing about that with us about an hour before the game tonight. 36-28. Giles looks for Cummings. 3 on the shot clock. Cummings up and under. Got it.
Well, he's not as consistent as when he was young, but he can still score points.
That's his first basket tonight. He was scoreless in 13 minutes the other night.
This is a key time in the first half for Miami because you look at where are they going to go offensively and get their points.
John Starks with a steal. Murdoch back. And Murdoch picks up the foul.
Yeah, I mean, you look on the court right now, you have P.J. Brown and Mashburn, Murdoch, Rashawn Leonard, and Marty Conlon. And who is your go-to guy? And obviously it's going to be Mashburn or P.J. Brown.
Non-shooting foul. Larry Johnson. 6 Miami turnovers. Only 2 for New York thus far. 7.5 to go before the break. Allen Houston still can't find the basket.
Yeah, and that was the case where the pass threw his shot off. Passing is so important. He had to reach for the pass, and he had to gather himself for the shot.
Brown, no. Giles goes up. Loose ball foul is called. And Hardaway getting ready to come back on the floor for Miami. Giles called for the foul.
And Pat Riley did not go without either Mourning or Hardaway off the court very long. He saw the same thing we did. There's not a lot of offense out there.
And a big rebounding edge in the early going now for Miami. Mashburn. Hardaway with Childs now guarding him. Conlon left open as Cummings comes to help. And it's another board for Miami. Mashburn starts. Hardaway. Oh, 21 points for Tim Hardaway. 8 of 10. He's hit his last 7 shots in a row.
And that one was the open one, but he has made some tough shots already in this half.
9-point margin. Giles drives it, puts it in. That's the second time he's
yeah, that was the case. Alonzo Mourning not in the game. Nobody's going to block his shot.
Mashburn fights for position. Foul is called on Chris Childs, his second.
But look, Mashburn draws a double team, and by drawing that double team, that frees up Tim Hardaway. Basket good.
Here's the view from west of the Hudson. Utah-Houston as the Rockets try to become only the second 8th seed to ever advance past the number 1 seed. They lead that series. San Antonio beat Phoenix last night. Later tonight, Seattle, Minnesota, 2-1 Minnesota edge there. Gary Payton has been shooting the ball a lot.
Yeah, he has, more than he probably wants to. And I think one of the things Seattle has gotten away from, early in the season, it was Ben Baker, then Gary Payton. Now it's everybody else but Ben Baker, and until they get back to Baker, they're going to be in trouble.
Indiana's up over Cleveland by 12. They can close out that series with a victory tonight. And the winner of that one takes on the winner of this one, either Miami or New York. Here's Rashawn Leonard. And Allen Houston chases down the rebound.
Well, it's tougher to make a shot when there's a hand in your face. That time, Leonard had 3 hands in his face.
Cummings, sloppy, trying to hang on to the pass. Here's Hardaway again. That's his first miss in his last 8 shots.
But Marty Conlon, the little things. Now, that's only 1 rebound, but that's a rebound with Alonzo Mourning out of the game. Significant. More time with the ball for Miami.
Back to Mashburn. Another Miami turnover as Cummings knocks this one away. Allen Houston with a runner. Count the basket, and he goes to the free throw line.
And you saw right when he made that shot, I looked down at Pat Riley, and he did a spin because he does not want that guy to get going. And you can see him in transition again. When he has the ball, he is really good. That's a tough shot. That's George Gervin-like. One-leg runner, falling away from the bucket. Pretty good.
Yes, it was. And he goes to the free throw line. He's now 2 of 8 from the field. Alonzo Mourning back on the floor. Houston rattles it home. Rashawn Leonard, Mourning, Conlon, Hardaway, and Jamal Mashburn for Miami. They lead by 4. Largest lead of the game has been 9 points. Mourning and Oakley. Larry Johnson, Conlon, spin move, and he's going to go to the line.
Effective.
Yeah.
He's going to go to the line. 1, he gets 2 free throws, 2, and it's another foul or a foul on Larry Johnson. Marty Conlon being effective. He has such an unorthodox game. He's very difficult to guard.
I remember when they signed him, you liked that move.
Yeah, I did. Right when they signed him, I said, this guy does not have the prettiest game, but he can hurt you in little ways, and he's doing it.
Well, the aesthetic nature of his shot brings to mind what Pat Riley said as this series was finalized. You want ugly, you got it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at him now, that's what, 1 point, 3 rebounds, 1 assist in 7 minutes from Marty Conlon. That's good.
5-point lead, Miami, under 5 to play first half. Hardaway guards Childs. Conlon defending Larry Johnson, and defending him quite well. Johnson does get the rebound and puts it back up, and he goes to the line.
Yeah,
Alonzo Mourning, that's 3.
Yeah. They love him here, don't they?
Well, recall Game 6 a year ago here when he sank the huge 3.
Yeah.
Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing's former teammate, let the crowd have it.
Well, you know what? When he made that 3, he had the right to.
I agree. That, of course, monster victory for Miami, but it was a game always in the hearts and minds of New York. People played with an asterisk because they had 3 players suspended. Here's Mourning going to the bench.
Well, this has been the theme in Miami's wins. Alonzo Mourning in foul trouble. You can see him getting the crowd into it. They don't need much help here, Alonzo. But you know the difference in this game. I think Alonzo Mourning in the other 2 games that he was in foul trouble was not really having a good game. He's having a good game tonight, and Tim Hardaway's having a good game, but no one else really is. So now with Alonzo out, Tim Hardaway really is going to have to carry the load.
Johnson's 2 free throws shaved the margin to 3. 7-1 New York run. Starks picks up Leonard. Hardaway pops out. Here's Childs guarding. Here's P.J. Brown backing in on Oakley.
Oh, great position.
Oakley with a flop.
Great position. Well, Oakley flopped because he knew he was in trouble. He figured the only way I'm going to stop this guy is try to fall down and get a foul.
5-point game. Allen Houston threw an elbow and got caught.
Yeah. See, it's tough for guys who aren't used to doing that kind of thing to get away with it. I mean, Charles Oakley, Alonzo Mourning, they're doing pretty smart where they can get away with it. But that is just too easy to call.
Allen Houston, who got called for a technical the other night, his first in a New York uniform. Demeanor normally serene. Here's Mashburn off the mark for the 3-point effort. And another rebound for Miami. Hardaway underneath. That one's off Conlon. It'll be New York's ball.
But Marty Conlon is the one who got his hand on that rebound to keep the ball alive. Now, when you're going to Marty Conlon early in the clock to score, then that's a problem for you if you're Miami, and that's why they turned the ball over there. Marty Conlon was not ready for the pass. He didn't think he was going to get it.
3:28 to go before the break. Allen Houston.
Boy, he doesn't like being touched right now. He's a little frustrated.
Foul was called on Mashburn, his second.
I mean, you can see the foul call here. It's an easy call. Mashburn just pushes. But then watch the reaction. He doesn't like it today.
A little feisty.
And got up on the wrong side of the bed. Found out that they were down 2-1.
As the guards have gone, so the victories have gone in the first 3 games. And tonight, Tim Hardaway has 21. The backcourt's 23 for Miami.
Yeah, it's amazing. Coming into this series, everyone was talking about the big, powerful Knicks and Miami Heat. and it's been the guards who have won or lost the games in these series.
Giles guards Hardaway. And Miami will use a timeout. 3:19 to go. First half of play. Alonzo Mourning with 3 fouls on the Miami bench.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by the new Dodge. From cars to minivans to trucks, it's about change. The new Dodge. And by the Home Depot, America's home improvement coach.
Back at the Garden, 3:19 to go before the halftime break, and let's check in and see where Craig Sager might be.
Well, with John Thompson, of course, who has a bevy of all-stars, particularly centers from Georgetown. Alonzo's been an all-star for years, but talk about how he's matured and become more of the leader of the team.
Well, you know, I think the key to Alonzo's game is his intensity. I've never seen Alonzo get on the floor and not play as hard as he could play, even when he didn't play well. And I think that that's what's happening tonight. He's picking up some fouls because he's trying to block everything.
We know how frustrated Patrick Ewing is not playing. A lot of people think that maybe he should pull a Willis Reed and come out here limping. What do you think?
No, that's only in Disneyland. The physical play out there now, if Patrick came and fell on the floor, he could end his career. He has to at least be 90% well.
All right, thanks. Let's go back to Vern.
Thank you, Craig. Doc, I know you concur with that.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I guarantee you he gets out there, his hand would get hit. I can guarantee that.
Marty Conlon, 3 to go before Hardaway just does beat the shot clock. Off the rim and it's chased down by John Starks. Kicks it in the corner. Giles. And as he passed it back outside to Oakley, picks up the foul.
Well, I tell you what I really like what Chris Giles is doing is driving the basketball. He's not settling for the jump shot tonight. Look at the bench scoring. And that's been also the quiet swing play in each game with teams winning. It's bench play, and right now the Knicks bench is coming up big.
Eric Murdoch off the bench, replacing Jamal Mashburn. Quiet first half for Murdoch, given how well he played here on Tuesday.
Well, it's no coincidence. It's a quiet first half for Leonard, Mashburn, and Murdoch. And the reason is Tim Hardaway is scoring points. And that's what Riley was talking about. It's good that Tim Hardaway scores points for us. We have to pick his spots, and he must get other guys involved. So far, he hasn't done that of late.
1 of 2 for Childs. Miami has Murdoch, Hardaway, and Leonard, so they go small with 3 guards, Conlon and P.J. Brown. The other 2 men on the floor. Now Murdoch at the point. Grew up about 40 minutes in New York City as a Knicks fan. Hardaway, 21 points already. Finds Murdoch, who drives and kicks it back outside. 3 on the shot clock. It's in Conlon's hands. 24-second shot clock violation. Don't think you want Marty Conlon as your option with 3 seconds to go.
Well, that was really smart basketball. The Knicks, I think it was Chris Childs, was going to rotate, and he saw that it was Marty Conlon and went back to his man and said, you beat us. That's smart. That's what you have to do.
10-3 New York run. And Miami trying to hold on to the lead here in the first half. Here's Houston. Put back from Johnson.
And you know, with 3:19 left, Pat Riley called a timeout when the Heat was up 3. And I said, what a great timeout. Because he went in that timeout and told him, guys, let's keep the lead.
Murdoch drives and Johnson fouls him.
Well, if you're not a great offensive rebounder, the reason you can get an offensive rebound is because your man went to help. And P.J. Brown left the help. Larry Johnson sneaks in and gets the tip.
That's the 3rd offensive rebound for Larry Johnson tonight. Murdoch at the line.
Well, when that left his hand, I didn't think that had any chance of touching the rim.
Chris Mills back on the floor, replacing Larry Johnson.
You know, we talk about drives. Allen Houston drove the ball, but he missed, but it cost 2 points. Eric Murdoch has done that this entire series. He might not make the shots, but just by him driving frees up everybody else.
Miami up by 1, under 2 minutes to go, first half of play. Starks. Oakley Too strong. Conlon checks it down. Here comes Deshaun Leonard. Allen Houston guards him. Leonard very quiet first half. Here's P.J. Brown. Murdoch. Starks right there. Five on the shot clock. Runner, Murdoch. Oh, boy.
He's done it all series. Big shots, big drive. And there was no question he was taking the ball to the basket.
That's his first field goal tonight, and it gives Miami a three-point edge.
Beauty. That was tough because the ball was deflected. He had to adjust in the air, Allen Houston did, to make that shot.
Allen Houston with 9 points now.
You have to really be able to jump to do that.
Starks fouls Murdoch.
Murdoch again driving the basket.
That's Starks first.
You have to have great hang time. You can see him hanging there waiting for the ball to come because it was deflected. Most guys would have landed and had to jump again to get that. Murdoch again with the drive. Oh, he just creates shots at times.
Murdoch, who with about 4 minutes remaining on Tuesday, emulated Chris Childs and made a motion as if he were cutting his throat. Later said it was a big mistake and he apologized for it.
Well, and his teammates really got on him. Tim Hardaway, after the game, said there's no place for that. Just play basketball. That's what you do all your talking.
A little taunting from Childs down to Miami and Murdoch here in the Garden.
Two big buckets from Eric Murdoch.
3-point lead. Under a minute to go. Askins on now to guard Allen Houston. Houston kicks it out to John Starks. Yes!
Boy, I didn't think he could make that shot because he really didn't catch it right. Wow.
Starks with 10 in the first half. And you know, not much sleep last night. You missed it. He was in Tulsa where his mom had cancer surgery yesterday. Tied with 47-30 to go. Mills tips it. Tracked down by Mashburn of Miami.
Big rebound. Miami would love to go into halftime with the lead. And Pat Riley's going to clear it out for Eric Murdoch. That tells you how good he's been in this series.
Murdoch. Mills. We have reached the end of two periods. John Starks, the emotional spark off the bench for the Knicks. The Nike halftime report coming up. Kenny Smith and Derek Harper, a former Knick and Maverick.
Derek Harper?
Yes.
All right.
We'll join Ernie Johnson in our studios.
Game. They have played 24 minutes at the Garden in New York, and the Knicks not going quietly. Tied with Miami, 47 apiece, to be followed by the Lakers and Blazers. Meantime, a live look on TBS at Cleveland's Gund Arena. The Cavs have closed the gap to 5 against the Pacers, who were up by 12 going to the fourth, to be followed by the Sonics and the Timberwolves. Welcome to the Nike halftime report from our Atlanta studio. I'm Ernie Johnson, this is Kenny Smith, and this is Derek Harper. You look at Miami in this game, and Tim Hardaway was huge in Game 1, huge in Game 3, and big-time stuff again tonight, Derek.
I'm just happy as a point guard that I'm sitting here with you guys because I wouldn't want the responsibility to have to go out and guard Tim Hardaway tonight. He's doing it from the inside here against Charlie Ward, who's a pretty good defensive player but can't seem to do anything tonight against him.
From the outside, he will also not hesitate to pull the trigger.
Mashburn makes a nice pass to him. Charlie's a day late. He gets the three in the face.
21 points in the first half, and he just really creates, doesn't he, Kenny?
He's still doing his thing here. He gives you the little hezo and goes back in off the glass, and he's been doing it all night. Right now, he is scorching, and it's tough to stop. Here he gives Starks the ankle-breaking hesitation, goes back into the basket over Terry Cummins. He is the reason why Miami is in the game, and in the playoffs, this is what you want. You want to just the opportunity to keep it close, so then when you're on the road, you can take the game home.
But what are the Knicks showing you in the first half? They were down by 9 at one point.
They're showing a lot of heart, especially John Starks. You hear about all of the turmoil that's going on in his life, and I think to find a way to rebound from all of that and come back and put together a very good first half is really, really good for the Knicks right now.
Yeah, his mom having cancer surgery this week, and he was in Tulsa even as recently as last night. He's got 10 points in the first half. It's a tie game. When the Nike halftime report continues, we're going to look ahead to our TNT nightcap. Shaq and the Lakers can move on, but they'll have to do something they have not done yet this season, and that is win in Portland over J.R. Rider and the Blazers. We're back in a minute. And welcome back. If you were to hit the clicker right now over to TBS, you would see this going on at Gund Arena. This is live, 73-67. Indiana trying to put away Cleveland, but the lead has shrunk to 6 points with a shade over 4 minutes to play right now on TBS. Tomorrow night here on TNT, a doubleheader. Can the Hornets close out the Hawks? They'll try to with the Georgia Dome, followed by the Jazz and the Rockets. Houston bidding to knock out the reigning Western Conference champs. They lead the series 2-1, beginning at 7 o'clock tomorrow night here on TNT. Now, the LA-Portland series is the only one in the West in which the home team has won every game. If that happens again tonight in Portland, the Lakers and Blazers will go back to the Forum for Game 5. For more, we turn to Bob Neal and Reggie Theus.
Thanks, Ernie. Reggie and I are at the Rose Garden. No, not the arena, the Rose Garden in Portland. And speaking of that, I think the Trailblazers must have said to themselves after they went down 0-2 to L.A. and Los Angeles, let's not promise them a Rose Garden up there. Let's do something to get a game. And the something that Portland did is they changed their game plan a little bit and devised a way to keep Arvydas Sabonis out of foul trouble and on the floor, and it seemed to work.
Well, Bob, it didn't look like it was going to work right at first because Shaq ended the first half with 22 points and about 6 monster jams. But Sabonis did manage to stay out of foul trouble, and in the fourth quarter played Shaq tough, but Shaq couldn't get any help from his teammates. I tell you what, Nick Van Exel and Kobe Bryant on the bench in the fourth quarter with 4 points and 2 points apiece. They have got to get some help off their bench.
Speaking of bench, Portland had good bench production, particularly from Walt Williams. He had 17.
No question. He widens out that defense with nice jumpers, really doing a great job for Portland. And, of course, when you combine the fact that the Lakers got beat by 14 points on the boards and shot 54% from the free throw line, you can't win a game that way. Nothing Del Harris can do from a coaching standpoint will help that situation.
Yeah, and the Portland Trailblazers, I think, are gaining some confidence by looking at all the upsets going on in the first round of the playoffs. Could be a tough one for the Los Angeles Lakers tonight at the Rose Garden, the arena. Back to you, Ernie.
Thank you, Bob. You know, I think if Don Ho checked his closet right about now, we'd find a shirt missing. Meantime, the Lakers, what'd they do on the bench in Game 3? Not much at all after being impressive in Games 1 and 2. 0 for 5 from the arc, 4 out of 7 from the line. Only 12 points in Game 3. In fact, Kobe, Nick Van Exel, Elvin Campbell, all 1 for 6 from the field in that game. Interesting point you make about Nick Van Exel and his role on this team, and every time they play, you bring it up. Make it public, will you?
Well, I don't like it. I would like to see Nick Van Exel start. I think he brings so much to the table from initially. He's so explosive, and I think you should have your best 5 guys on the floor. I think the team has accepted it, and he's accepted the role as well. So it's working out for him in that respect, but I'd love to see him from the start of the game coming in there shooting those threes.
How about the Portland side of this thing? Now, how do they send this back to L.A. for a Game 5?
A lot of energy, Ernie. I think they need to come out on their home floor and really, really push the ball, look for the easier opportunities. Ryder needs to be on. Sabonis needs to stay out of foul trouble against Shaq, and that gives them a chance.
Look for a fourth quarter carryover for Portland because they came from behind after 3 periods to win that game and stay alive. Back to wrap things up on the Nike halftime report right after this. Who will get into the conference semis joining the Spurs and the Bulls? Keep watching. And we welcome you back to the Nike halftime report. 47-47 here on TNT between the Heat and the Knicks. Thrilling finish brewing on TBS right now. It's a 2-point game. The Pacers trying to close out the Cavs, but Cleveland not going quietly. You can catch the finish right now on TBS. Later tonight here on TNT, Vince Cellini has Inside the NBA. His guest is PJ Carlesimo. And remember, if you're on the net and you're looking around for a new address, how about the ultimate address for
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Times Square has been referred to as the crossroads of the world. We're about 9 blocks to the south of Times Square. And Madison Square Garden, halftime. Getting ready for the start of the third quarter. 47-47. And John Starks, on an emotional evening, got a great start off the bench, 10 points. Earlier, Jeff Van Gundy talked about John.
Besides the mental part, we also need him to play well. And when we got that extra added burst of scoring in Game 2, we could be successful. We don't have enough scoring if we're going to be just reliant on Allen and Larry Johnson. We need other guys to step up, and that's really been the team that's won, is the team that's had those secondary guys step up.
John Starks with 10 points, the leading New York scorer, a night in which Allen Houston was limited to only 9 points, and Larry Johnson had 8. Very significant contribution he made.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Van Gundy said it right, a good emotional lift. John Starks is an emotional player, so he's going to be emotional every game. Sometimes those emotions are carried away, get carried away, and it's not a good lift. Tonight it's a good lift, and they need it. With Larry Johnson struggling and Allen Houston struggling, the Knicks tied 47-all. I think they're thrilled to death right now looking at the scoreboard.
Chris Childs also chipped in with a fine first half. Right now, let's check in with Craig Sager.
Although Tim Hardaway had 21 points, his last basket came with 6:38 to play in the second quarter, giving Miami a 9-point lead. The difference from then on, according to Pat Riley, was the Knicks' defense. He told his team that they put it up a notch, they played much better with more intensity, and you guys didn't match it. As for Jeff Van Gundy, he thought the difference also came in the latter portion of the second quarter. He wants that continuing into the third quarter. He says, I do not want the team to fall behind and have to fight back. We need to get the lead here in the third quarter. Vern Doxson.
All right, Greg. Tim Hardaway with a huge start tonight. Cool off a little bit, and here's what he has done against the 3 men that have defended him so far.
Well, when you're shooting 8 for 12, that means you've done well against just about everyone. Only 1 shot against Chris Childs. But Tim Hardaway, you know, he's scoring points. He still has 6 assists, so he's doing it all around right now. So far, he's carried this team on his shoulder in the first half. He's going to need some help from Vashawn Leonard and Alonzo Mourning in the second half for the Heat to win this game.
Vashawn Leonard, who had major back-to-back games in 2 and 3. Quiet night tonight, 1 of 4 and only 2 points, 3 rebounds.
Yeah, and that's the effect of what we talked about from Hardaway. Taking 12 shots in the first half, that's some of the shots that Leonard had in Game 3. He's not getting them. It'll be interesting at the beginning of this third quarter how Hardaway comes out to play. Will he be the guy who creates, or will he be the guy who shoots?
And Allen Houston, who lit it up in the first quarter of Game 2 here. Rough start tonight for Allen Houston.
Yeah, maybe Jeff Van Gundy is saying, well, you know, he's had some great first halves and played poorly in the second. He's hoping for a reversal of fortune.
Charlie Ward, Chris Mills on the floor. And Oakley off the mark. Oakley goes for the loose ball. And grabs it. Charlie Ward. Pick and roll back to Oakley. Rotation from P.J. Brown. In the paint, Larry Johnson.
Well, that's Alonzo Mourning with 3 fouls. Larry Johnson tried to get him up in the air, couldn't, but he knew Alonzo would not jump. He wants to stay in the game.
This is the first New York lead since they jumped up 12-11 and then fell behind almost immediately. And it's the first time in the series. Here's Houston. Nice no-look pass. And Johnson missed it. And P.J. Brown is into the camera roll.
Well, they're calling a foul on P.J. Brown, and you wonder why Johnson missed the shot. I thought it was just that P.J. Brown distracted him. Let's see if it was a good call. I don't know. It must be down low again, because I didn't see that one either.
Johnson shoots 2.
You know, that last possession with Miami, Alonzo Mourning had the ball down in the post, and instead of looking to score, he was looking for double teams. But he looked for double teams for almost 10 seconds and finally lost the ball.
Knicks up by 4. 15 of 18 at the free throw line tonight. Now Mashburn with the entry pass to Mourning, and a foul is called on Allen Houston.
But you see how much quicker he got into his move that time. He faced the basket, that's what Riley wants, and then he was about to attack. The last time he waited and waited, and he waited too long.
Hardaway. 4-point New York lead. Facing elimination if they lose tonight. Game 5 in Miami if New York wins. If Miami wins, they take on the Indiana Pacers, who won tonight in Cleveland, 80-74, and they wrap up that series.
But you got to still give Cleveland credit, played great. But I think most people pick Indiana to win that series, and most people pick them to win tonight.
Double team comes from P.J. Brown. Ward back to Allen Houston. Mills, Johnson, Oakley. Now Johnson penetrates, spins, puts it up. No. Got the loose ball and put it back.
Larry Johnson is just making a living on loose balls after offensive rebounds, making the shots too, keeping things alive.
Larry Johnson, 4 offensive rebounds. He's got 14 points.
And all he's doing is just staying in the play and never giving up. I've always thought the guy who has the biggest advantage on offensive rebounds is the guy who shot the ball, because he knows immediately if the ball's not going in when it leaves his hand.
Could almost count the rotations. 6-point New York Knicks lead, 10:09 to go, third quarter of play. Chicago advanced over New Jersey last night. Charlotte and Atlanta play game 4 tomorrow night. Doc and I will be down in Atlanta for that one. Miami with a win tonight would go on to take on the Indiana Pacers in the conference semifinals. The Pacers won at Cleveland, 80-74, the final there.
Well, that would be interesting. You look at both of these teams, the Knicks and the Heat, you wonder which one would do better against Indiana. You have to say the Heat, because they're so big. They could match up with Indiana's size.
Alonzo Mourning, Oakley defending. Mourning!
Whoa! Time. He gets into the offense quickly, but takes his time. He's effective. When he rushes that quick turnaround jump shot, he's not.
Here's Allen Houston. Got it.
I was going to say great defense, and the ball still went in.
Rashawn Leonard was right there.
See, now Larry Johnson and Allen Houston are starting to warm up a little bit. The key for Alonzo against Charles Oakley, look at his foot in the paint. When he catches the ball in the paint and takes his time, he has such an advantage that he can get his shot off. Oakley's done a real nice job of pushing him off the block.
Last foul was called on Oakley, his second. Here's Hardaway. Charlie Ward guards him. Mashburn. And Charlie Ward went down and got the rebound away from Alonzo Mourning. Ward, nice pass. Larry Johnson from Charlie Ward.
The nice pass. Charlie Ward's the only guy who saw Larry Johnson open, because nobody else did.
Hardaway has gone cold. Allen Houston called for it, got it from Ward, back in his hands. Now Mills goes by Mourning, finds Larry Johnson again.
Well, that was good offense. Bad finish. And look at this pass from Charlie Ward. He never looks until the last minute to see Larry Johnson. He saw him the whole time, but he didn't give it away. That's a great quality of a quarterback.
57-49.
I'm saying that like I know anything about football.
Played in high school? No?
Yeah, 1 year I got hit and quit.
Wide receiver?
Yeah. And in high school where no one passes the ball.
Leonard. Turnover. Chris Mills protects the ball. Finds Oakley. Jumper from Charles Oakley. Larry Johnson, another loose ball again. That one's knocked out of bounds, and Oakley doesn't have to dive into the third row this time. He held up. Larry Johnson, 5 offensive boards tonight.
He's doing a great job. He's everywhere right now.
8:05 to go third quarter. Mills, yes!
See, right now, everyone from New York is putting in. I mean, Mills has been almost invisible in this series, and he's made some nice plays. That's a big one.
And a chance for the three-point play. It is an 11-point Knicks lead on a 13-2 run in the quarter. Hardaway, 21 early. Timeout, New York. They are roaring in the Garden.
Will they be satisfied with one victory? New Jersey didn't get it done. Cleveland, one victory and out.
Hardaway, oh boy, that ends a stretch of almost 11 minutes.
That's the mark of a good coach. You go in and say, hey, give it to Tim Hardaway. He might score for you.
Now Hardaway defending Charlie Ward. Mills with the pick. On the switch. And here comes Mourning to help. Allen Houston over Keith Askins. Nope, rebound Mourning. Askins calls for it in the corner. Nobody back there. Here's Hardaway for 3. Way outside.
He's done it all game long with big shots.
Talked about how quiet Hardaway had been for a quarter, and then bingo. The lead is cut to 6. Ward for Mills. And P.J. Brown for Miami.
It's amazing what one shot will do for your team. And in this case, it's Tim Hardaway making 2 shots.
Askins from the corner.
But all 3 from Tim Hardaway. What a response by the Miami Heat.
Finding themselves down 11, they called time and came back to hit 7 in a row. A 22nd New York timeout.
And the first shot that Tim Hardaway made to start that run was not exactly a great shot. When you look at here, it was no doubt he was shooting at you. You can see him preparing to shoot before the ball came. And then next time down, drives, kicks, shot, getting others involved. I think that's still key to the game for Miami. Tim Hardaway's ability to get other people involved. I mean, we have a chart tonight, Vern, on good looks, and right now both teams have had good looks. Neither team are taking advantage of it.
I'll play the straight man again. How do you define good looks?
No hand in your face, wide open.
Others who would define it somewhat differently.
Yes, Cindy Crawford. Good looks.
Okay. I just want to make sure we were in the same boat and had a paddle. Yes. 60-56. Allen Houston, Askins. Oh, but then the foul is called as Houston went right by him.
Well, he can shoot the ball. So if you can shoot the ball and dribble the ball, you're very dangerous, and that's what Allen Houston can do. The fact that he shows the ball, Askins has to guard him close, and he can dribble around him.
11 points for Houston tonight, but substandard from the field and now the free throw line. One more.
You know, you knew in the second half, Allen Houston would see the ball in his hands a lot because Jeff Van Gundy was not happy that he almost went 2 quarters without really getting involved in the offense after having 18 in the first quarter.
Hardaway finds Mourning, and Mourning finds the basket.
Tim Hardaway's taking this game over right now. And he did something to his hands. And watch Tim Hardaway. The reason Mourning is open is because Tim Hardaway drives. Oakley goes to help. Mourning has a chance for a three-point play.
Oakley picks up his third foul. And Mourning at the line. Larry Johnson with a rebound. A 9-1 Miami run out of the timeout that was called when they were down 11. The lead is 3 for New York, 61-58. Allen Houston, Keith Askins. Oakley sets the screen. Charlie Ward. Skip pass. Houston pump fake. Shot clock violation.
Miami is turning up the defense. Greg Sager said that Pat Riley said you have to match New York's intensity. Miami is doing it now on both ends, and look at how they move their feet, attack the ball, and recover.
That is the first New York turnover in the last 10 minutes. Here's Alonzo Mourning and Oakley renewing their confrontation.
He's in the paint. Yeah, he's in the paint. He's scoring. Every time he catches it in the paint, he's going to score unless the Knicks double team.
He battled back. Mourning has 15. The lead is 1 for New York. Van Gundy's going to go to his bench. Starks getting ready to come on. Allen Houston goes by Askins. And the bodies are on the floor. P.J. Brown and Allen Houston.
A smart play by Allen Houston, just attacking the basket. Struggling with his shot a little bit. Another way of getting off is going to the foul line. The one thing we don't talk about is Allen Houston is how high he can jump. He can get up. That was 4 guys coming at Houston. You think that they don't know who the guy is on New York? He has a big bullseye on his head.
Back at the free throw line, John Starks and Chris Childs back on the floor for the Knicks. Chris Mills and Charlie Ward sit down. Well, let's measure the vertical leap. How high? 32 inches.
Yeah, 32 inches and you're 6'7". That means you're up.
1 of 2 again this trip to the free throw line, though. The lead is 2. And Hardaway has it in his hand.
Yeah, 2 free throws missed by Allen Houston, which tells you right now his jump shot is off.
5 to go, third quarter. Oakley fronts Mourning this time. P.J. Brown. Larry Johnson got it. 4th foul on Larry Johnson.
Yeah, and that obviously is a problem. And another thing we should mention is Alonzo Mourning has played this entire third quarter without picking up another foul.
Larry Johnson and Hugh Evans having a friendly chat. P.J. Brown misses, and Chris Dudley back on the floor for the first time since early in the going. Johnson with 4 fouls. He's been a force rebounding and scoring tonight.
And I think the scoring we kind of knew that he was going to do. He's shooting 52% in this series. The rebounding has been a surprise.
Dudley gets that rebound. 4:49 to go, third quarter. Starks guarded by Deshaun Leonard. Chris Childs. Oakley. They've got him doubled. And he called timeout.
I don't know if Jeff Van Gundy really likes that timeout, because going into the fourth quarter, he's going to need that timeout that they wasted right there. Miami turning up the heat defensively.
He told me, look how that gesture that Chris Childs made, what it did for us, how it really motivated us. And he just didn't want me to do the same thing for them. And, you know, I regret doing it because that's not me, for one, and for 2, coach is right. You know, you don't want to give them extra motivation.
Throughout the game.
Well, you know, this is an emotional game, and sometimes guys do that. And a lot of times guys do it just having fun with the other teammate. The problem is it's in front of a big crowd.
Only 4 on the shot clock from the corner. Childs in and out. Dudley tries to keep it alive. Touch last by Chris Dudley.
Well, Dudley didn't play in the second half in Game 3 after playing Alonzo Mourning pretty well. The reason he is in now is because in Game 3, Alonzo Mourning is in foul trouble. Now, Alonzo Mourning is out on the court and playing well. They need a big guy to guard Mourning.
An 11-2 Miami run after New York had gone on a 13-2 run to open this half. Foul is on Starks away from the ball. That's the second foul on Starks. Deshaun Leonard at the line.
Wow, the great shooting from Houston and Leonard is not so right now.
Miami hasn't hit a free throw in this quarter. They're 0 for 4. 0 for 5. Dan Marley unable to play. Groin pull in the second game.
That's a big loss. Yep. That is a big loss.
And this foul is called on Deshaun Leonard.
Well, right now, Deshaun Leonard and John Starks have a little thing going. The one foul on the other end was John Starks, and that was a payback right there from Deshaun Leonard.
John Starks back at the line. Eric Murdoch getting ready to come on for Miami.
The way these two teams are shooting free throws, that's almost a defensive stop when you can get them to the free throw line. Though Miami 0 for 5, New York 5 for 7. They're shooting them a little better.
Buck Williams, the ageless wonder, hasn't played in the last 2 games.
He told me that's why he's ageless. Said he feels great.
Makes those morning afters a little easier.
Oh, much easier.
Stark shoots one more. Four-point margin for New York, under 4 to play, third quarter. Murdoch now at the point with Hardaway on the floor. B.J. Brown, Askins, and Alonzo Mourning for Miami. Hardaway, pick and roll, and Oakley takes it away from him.
Yeah, great hands from Charles Oakley.
Here comes Chris Childs. Giles goes right. Oakley off the mark. Hardaway gets it. Dudley was there. Here's Dudley from Oakley.
You can see P.J. Brown trying to get there to foul Dudley, knowing he's not a good free throw shooter, and just couldn't get there in time.
That ends a 5-minute stretch in which New York had not scored from the field. Mourning, Dudley guards it, and he's outside the paint.
Yeah, but it's a bigger guy guarding too, so he might be able to go around Dudley.
3 on the shot clock. Murdoch, foul with time expiring.
Bad foul. Even if it was clean, it was a bad foul because there was no time on the clock. Watch Oakley on the help defense. I mean, when he's not guarding Alonzo Mourning, he can get help and get steals. He's good at that when he doesn't have to guard the center guy in Alonzo or whoever he's guarding.
Van Gundy. I'm just guessing he's telling Chris Childs, you've got options. Look around. Don't try and take it yourself.
Yeah, he's saying Allen Houston.
Yes.
That's what he's saying right now. Allen Houston is struggling, but he's on the floor. Don't forget that. And Jeff Van Gundy felt that the guards forgot about him and Larry Johnson down the stretch.
Murdoch, another. And the lead is 4 with 2:55 to go third quarter. Johnson with 4 fouls on the bench. Chris Childs picked up by Murdoch. Here comes Stark. Goes to his right, kicks it out. Chris Childs penetrates.
Smart, good play by Chris Childs again. He's not selling for the jump shot. He's driving the ball, and that drive, 4 fouls on Alonzo Mourning. We keep talking about how important driving the basketball is. It causes so many problems. I watched San Antonio last night, and Avery Johnson made jump shots. But the key to that game was Avery Johnson driving the basketball.
Pat Riley getting ready to make a move. Keith Askins will come on. Childs. Oh, boy. Johnson with 4s on the bench. Leonard and Mourning both have 4. And Alonzo Mourning has to sit now with his 4th. And Chris Mills is going to come on, replacing Chris Dudley.
So because this is such a strange series and strange game, since Alonzo Mourning has gone out, you got to expect that Miami's going to make a run, because that's what they've done every time.
Now his numbers have been down. He's had 2 victories.
Yeah, he's having a big one tonight, though.
Yes.
And Tim Hardaway is having a big one. Riley was saying before the game, it would be nice if both of my guys could play well on the same night.
Now it's Murdoch and Hardaway. And John Starks picks up Eric Murdoch. Mills has Mashburn. 2:22 to go, 3rd quarter. Knicks by 5. Mashburn drives, puts it up. Short. Starks has it. Oakley and P.J. Brown, and they got P.J. Brown in the wrestling match.
That is comedy. The whole way down the court, Oakley and P.J. Brown was going at it. Look at this. The whole way down the court. They are wrestling. I don't know what that is. I want to call it defense. What a play. Oh, my.
Oakley shoots 2. Here's Marty Conlon on the floor for Miami. P.J. Brown with 4 fouls. He'll join Mourning on the bench.
And that's 2 big guys on the bench. So if you're New York, you must attack the basket. There is no shot blockers out on the floor for Miami.
Seven-point New York lead.
This is small ball from both teams now.
Murdoch, Mashburn. Oakley comes out to help. It's saved by Oakley into the hands of Allen Houston. Oakley sits in the lap of Donald Trump. There's a picture for the ages. Here's Starks. Got it. Timeout, Miami.
Charles Oakley's emotional play, stealing balls, diving for loose balls, has given the Knicks a 71-62 lead. The last time diving into the arms of Donald Trump. Gates, what I did? Well, I never realized how big he was until I was holding him. This was not pretty. Did you take a hard hit? A little bit of a hit, but he's great. He's a good guy. I know him, so it's okay. What do you think of the Knicks comeback here? I think they're doing great. It's a great game. All right, don't get hurt. Have a good time. Let's go back to Vernon Knox.
Okay, Tuesday night, of course, Oakley went into the stands and got beer poured on him. Tonight he gets cologne.
Yeah. Probably grab a few bucks, too, on the way out.
How about a loan?
Oh, my.
71-62, 1:42 to go, 3rd quarter. Vern Lundquist, Doc Rivers with Craig Sager. And New York trying to stave off elimination. They have to win 2 to advance. They must win tonight, then go down to Miami. The Miami Heat are trying to win their 3rd successive playoff game in Madison Square Garden. Loose ball, Starks down on the floor.
Now this is the type of series we thought we were going to have right here with hustling plays on the floor. And this is just hustle, gut, basketball.
And we'll jump it. Giles and Hardaway. Mark Strickland has come on for Miami. First action he has seen in the series.
That surprises me, too, because I thought that he would be one of the guys who would play Allen Houston. He is a great athlete. Reminds me a lot of Walter McCarty in Boston.
Here's Hardaway and Childs. Baseline, no. Oakley, great position on Conlon.
And you thought that Tim Hardaway was going to pass that. You were crazy. He's trying to get his team back in it offensively.
Now Childs is on the edge.
Yeah.
Off the dribble, throws it away.
Yeah, that's just miscommunication. When Childs throws, John Starks is going to flatten out to the corner so he could see him. Didn't see him.
Final minute, third quarter. Now Childs picks up Hardaway. Conlon sets the screen. And Chris Childs called for the foul.
And Chris Childs is upset because right before Hardaway made the move, watch Hardaway's left arm. He's going to reach it out. And that's what Childs was upset over. He did that, so he tried to grab him. You can't grab him.
Third foul on Childs. Hardaway shoots 2.
The good players are so good at using their other arm away from the ball. Pushing off, getting themselves some room to shoot.
Tim Hardaway, 27 points tonight. Seattle up by 14 on the road in Minneapolis in the first quarter. Trying to even that series and send it to a game 5.
I bet Ben Baker's touched the ball more. I guarantee you.
This series 2-1 Miami. And Hardaway gets a second free throw. A 7-point game.
When we're talking about that Minnesota game, it has to be so tough for a young team to try to close out a veteran team.
Allen Houston. Haskins right there with him. Houston. Childs. Nope. 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Miami gets the miss. Hardaway. For 3. Starts with a rebound. Crowd was ready just in case.
Half of them thought it went in.
Larry Johnson sat for the last 5 minutes of the quarter with his 4th foul, but look at the rebounds. And Larry Johnson, 16 points have helped as well. The end of 3 at Madison Square Garden. Knicks lead by 7. Welcome back to Manhattan, not too far from Wall Street and the World Trade Center. Madison Square Garden, final quarter, 71-64. The New York Knicks, trying to stave off elimination, are up by 7. Doc Rivers, what have they been doing with Allen Houston?
Well, I think they're doing a nice job. Here's Houston, and watch him come out here. And what they want to do is force him to the middle. Most guys, you don't do that. You want to force to the baseline. Allen Houston's different. They've done a nice job forcing him to the middle. Where there's help.
Here's Mourning playing with 4 fouls. Muscles in on Oakley. Up and under and down and through.
But again, is where he caught the ball. If he has that foot in the paint, he's going to score. His face hurts a little bit.
He's playing without the mask tonight. He went in practice. He's feeling his jaw. Alonzo Mourning, who fractured his cheekbone early April, was out for 2 games. And Ward is back on the floor, almost loses it. 5 in the shot clock. It's in the hands of Childs. Now Mills, just as the buzzer goes inside the line. That was for 2.
Boy, I didn't know he can get that one off. Sloppy the entire 24 seconds, and they make the shot.
Mourning wants it again.
Him and Oakley are going at it. There will be a whistle at this pace. Yeah, you can see it. And watch here on this drive. Alonzo Mourning, no mask. Chris Mills, wow.
Ouch. Chose not to go with the mask tonight because it was causing him such discomfort.
Yeah, you know what he's thinking right there? Bad decision.
Yeah.
He's having a heck of a game there.
8 of 10 from the field for 17 points. He's hit his last 6 from the field, and he shoots a free throw here.
You know he can see the court better. And he talked about peripheral vision, and he said that's the one thing that mask took away from him. Now he can see a little bit better.
Mark Strickland is out, and P.J. Brown comes back. So Pat Riley is two big men on the floor with 4 fouls apiece.
Oh, Pat Riley's not worried about those fouls. He's going for the win. He does not want a game 5. No one wants a deciding game, even if it's at your home court.
If there is a game 5 Sunday on NBC.
And you know, Riley has to think every day that this series lasts is another day that Pat could come back.
Starks for 3. Nope. Chris Childs with a big offensive board. Murdoch with a foul.
The guards again are rebounding. The Knicks guards have done a sensational job in this series on the board. They're a smaller team, so they have to be a team rebounding team.
Larry Johnson back on the floor. I don't know what Hugh Evans and Tom Washington found so hilarious after that whistle, but they were both laughing.
I think they said, man, isn't this a good game?
5-point margin. Murdoch has Ward. Johnson wants it, sets the screen, pick and roll. Eric Murdoch kicks it back outside to P.J. Brown. Murdoch with the steal. Rashawn Leonard. Been a very quiet night for Rashawn Leonard.
Boy, they dodged the bullet. Alonzo Mourning, Dudley going at it. This game is starting to get a little uglier, nasty. You want it ugly, you're starting to get it. The Knicks dodged a huge bullet on this last play with Rashawn Leonard. No one picked him up, and he just missed the shot. That's what you call a good look.
Rashawn Leonard back-to-back efforts of 25 and 28. Dudley and Mourning renewing the battle. And tonight, Rashawn Leonard 1 of 6, 2 points. Under 10 to play. Johnson and Mourning. 2 on the shot clock.
No time.
Another 24-second violation.
Yeah, you were looking at the shot clock, and obviously he couldn't see it. He didn't make his move until there was 1 second on the clock.
.9:42 to go in regulation.
You need to run late in games. Take advantage of stops and try to run and get an easy basket. And then if you don't have something in transition, you have to find your money. And our money is Allen Houston and Larry Johnson. Now, that doesn't mean they're necessarily going to get the shot, because late in the game, defenses are going to commit to them and maybe take the ball out of their hands. But what we have to do is play through those two guys.
Yeah, Vern, I think that's so important. And what he's saying is you have guys on your team who can make shots only if someone creates shots for them. And you have guys on your team who can create shots and make shots. Allen Houston, Larry Johnson can make and create. Tim Hardaway, Eric Murdoch, and Alonzo Mourning can make and create. A guy like Rashawn Leonard is a guy who can make shots after someone created the shot for him.
That was long, but it was educational and interesting.
Yes.
Alonzo Mourning, Dudley.
I can tell you why Dudley's in. Because they're going to make Alonzo make shots. They're not going to allow him to create shots for others. So they put Chris Dudley in, so it's single coverage. Just watch it. There is no help. Chris Dudley, you're on your own, is what Jeff Van Gundy is saying.
That is the first foul on Dudley. 9:22 to go in the ball game. Murdoch got a little dust in his pants last time on the floor. Hardaway, Childs. Back it goes to Murdoch. Starks on Murdoch. Oh, he's quick. Runner in the lane, no. Rebound Dudley. Here comes New York. They're up by 5 and 9 to go. Game 4, first round.
It'll be interesting if they got Jeff Van Gundy's message. No fast break. So will they get the guy to their money player? And Allen Houston has the ball.
Allen Houston back on the floor. 0 for 6 in the fourth quarter of game 3. Here's Childs. My gosh!
That's a big shot. But again, Vern, they had the double team Allen Houston. Big shot from Chris Childs.
Chris Childs hit the big three at the end of the Game 2 victory in Miami. And he hits a big three here. 8:25 to go. Dudley, that's his second foul.
Now, I don't know about that one. I thought he beat him to the spot. But the reason they're calling it close now is these two guys have been fighting for the last 2 minutes, and they're going to call it close. No, that's not a foul.
Hardaway finds Murdoch. 76-68. Murdoch back to P.J. Brown. Hardaway and Mourning have hit 67% field tonight. The rest of the team, 24%.
Oh, that's great defense.
Whoa, boy, was it ever.
Great defense without a double team. That's why Dudley is in the game.
8 minutes to go. John Starks. Pick and roll with Johnson. Here's Mourning out on him. Johnson takes him to the basket. Kicks it outside for Childs. And Mourning saves it. Murdoch at the other end. P.J. Brown with the foul.
That's a great flop from John Starks.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought, again, that was a solid pick. But again, everyone is watching these two teams so closely. Whenever there's a physical play, I think that's a good pick. But what a great flop. Oh.
And now it's time to take a look at tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. Knicks with 30 points in the paint tonight. Miami with 24. Tim Hardaway, 28 points, but most of those early.
Yeah, I mean, in the last, he's not made a shot of late. And, 3 field goals in the last 25 minutes for Tim Hardaway. And we said it. He came out hot. You knew at some point he would get cold. And the question was, would somebody else pick it up?
Hardaway picks up Chris Childs, Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Dudley, and Starks on the floor for New York. Here's Allen Houston. Quick turnaround. Jumper is good.
What a double team. Alonzo Mourning was there on the double team. Houston went the other way.
A 10-point margin for the Knicks. Allen Houston's first shot of the fourth quarter.
And take a look at Alonzo Mourning. Get out. He reposts. Mourning's coming back. Houston knows that. He just goes the other way.
Allen Houston just picked up his third foul at the other end. Still no penalty. Hardaway will throw it in. And the by now familiar chant from the New York fans directed toward Pat Riley in the background. Hardaway.
Well, they still haven't gotten over it.
No.
He's not coming back.
Alonzo Mourning for 2.
Hey, he's having a nice game. Chris Dudley, good defense again. Alonzo Mourning is stepping up. Right now, Tim Hardaway is struggling offensively. You go to your other money player, Alonzo Mourning.
Allen Houston, back it goes to Johnson, and he goes for the 3. Nope. Dudley tries to keep it alive. Murdoch gets it to Miami.
Well, if that's the shot that they're going to get, Pat Riley will take that all night long. Johnson can make that shot. He'd rather him take it too if you're Miami.
Back to Mourning. Back to the free throw line.
Well, I don't know how you call a foul on any of those. These two guys are killing each other, and that was a foul on Chris Dudley. But for the officials, that has to be so tough. I mean, look how physical these two guys. I mean, that's a push. You'll see a bang from Alonzo. I mean, when do you make a call? That is a tough, tough job being an official when you have two physical players like that. You can see Don Chaney. He's been around some games himself.
And Brendan Malone on the bench with Jeff Van Gundy. And Mourning misses the first of 2. Brendan Malone, who had prostate surgery for cancer just a little over a month ago, was back on the bench in 28 days.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Jeff Van Gundy said you kind of put things in perspective when one of your friends are not feeling well or sick. And he said Brendan Malone did, and then right when he came back, he said, forget all that perspective stuff, let's win.
Mourning 1 of 2. 4 of 7 from the free throw line and 22 points for the night. 7-point game, 78-71. Allen Houston, Deshaun Leonard guarding him, kicking in the corner for Starks for 3.
Your money player sets up everybody else. Twice now, they've allowed Allen Houston to go baseline. That breaks down their defense.
Childs on Hardaway. Into the hands of Allen Houston. Now Chris Childs. Spin move on Hardaway. Back to Larry Johnson in the corner for Starks. P.J. Brown with a rebound. 5:25 to go. Miami has scored 7 in the quarter. They've all come until that basket from Alonzo Mourning.
That's just a great backdoor play by Eric Murdoch. He's always around.
Double team on Houston again. Now it comes from P.J. Brown. That leaves Johnson. John Starks wants to pick from Dudley. Back it goes to Chris Dudley. Why would you not foul him?
Yeah.
However, that's 6 fouls on P.J. Brown if it's Brown, 5 on Mourning if it's Mourning.
Well, either way, it's a big call.
P.J. Brown is fouled out with 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go.
And that hurts. But if you look at it this way, it brings in another offensive player for Miami because Riley's going to go with Jamal Mashburn.
Chris Dudley at the line. Knicks by 8.
How'd that go in? You know, I keep thinking of something that Jeff Van Gundy said before the game. We will not win a game if it's in the 90s. I don't know if we can win a game if it's in the 80s, he said. But if we keep them in the 70s, we will win.
Oh, my. That was more in the mood of things. Wow. 82-73. Here's Murdoch. Chris Childs fronting Hardaway. Murdoch penetrates, puts it in Alonzo Mourning's hands. Pretty good hands.
Yeah, great hands. Murdoch breaking the defense down again.
24 points for Mourning. 7-point margin. Houston trying to establish a post position. Deshaun Leonard fronts him. They go over the top. And Allen Houston is fouled by Mourning. The foul, I think, is going to be on Murdoch.
No, it's not on Mourning.
Yeah, Murdoch got there first, and then Mourning threw Houston down.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of physical play in this series. Now we're getting it. Because this is desperation time for the Knicks and also for Miami. They don't want to go to game 4. Or game 5.
Allen Houston shoots 2.
Boy, the key shooters are missing a ton of free throws. That's his 3rd miss.
5 of 8. .4:12 to go. 83-75. Giles screened by Mashburn. Johnson picks him up. Murdoch looks for Mourning. Chris Dudley knocks it out of bounds.
But you know what I think is really smart? The difference between game 3 and 4. Game 3, when the Knicks struggled, they didn't get it to their guy. Game 4, Miami struggling offensively. Alonzo Mourning is rolling, and they're going to milk him to death. They just keep going to Alonzo Mourning. That's a smart veteran basketball team.
Welcome back to the Garden. Patrick Ewing hoping that his team can advance to the next round because he has an outside chance of playing in that series, not this one. In the fourth quarter, John Starks, 1 of 3. Houston made his only shot. Childs, 1 of 2. Johnson missed his.
Yeah, but what Jeff Van Gundy said, our key guys might not get the shots, but we want the offense run through them. New York's doing that tonight. Miami has done a great job of that also down the stretch. Now, Tim Hardaway started out this game on fire and 14 points in the first quarter, but he struggled since. Not really. He hasn't struggled. They're just going to Alonzo Mourning now.
Mourning takes Dudley. Got it!
Hey, that play was drawn up. That's why the timeout was called. He said, forget the bumping with Chris Dudley. Take him away from the basket and use your quickness.
Now Hardaway guards Childs. Here's Allen Houston and Deshaun Leonard. The help comes from Mashburn, and there's Larry Johnson underneath. Dudley with a tip.
Boy, Pat Riley wanted offensive goaltending. I think Dudley waited just long enough.
3:20 to go in regulation. Chris Dudley.
They're having an Iron Man contest right now, trying to fight to see who can get position. If you don't think position is important, look at this. I mean, this is unbelievable. I think Mourning likes this better when he can just use his quickness. He just put the ball on the floor and went.
Now he's back at the line.
He's not a great free throw shooter. That's the only downfall going to Alonzo Mourning, because if you can foul him 65% for the season, he can struggle.
He's at 50% tonight, 4 of 8. He shoots 1 more.
Isn't it amazing that in the playoffs, everyone's free throw percentage goes down? I wonder why. Pressure. It's amazing. There should be a stat what a guy shoots in the fourth quarter.
He used to keep that in college. Childs. Yeah. That's it. Alonzo Mourning with the foul.
Chris Childs is playing a nice game. He's a floor general tonight. Instead of looking for offense, he was looking for Alonzo Mourning.
5 fouls on Mourning.
They want Alonzo Mourning out of this game because right now on the other end, he is really hurting the Knicks.
Childs shoots 2.
You know, there's not even a thought from Pat Riley. 3 minutes left. Mourning stays.
Childs has caught the disease tonight. He's 2 of 4.
It's a big disease. Usually it's just with one team. Ooh. This one has spread it all through the arena. I think you can bring Rick Barry in here tonight. He might miss one.
Well, his sons and civvies on the bench for Miami. One of 2. Lead is 8. And the time 3:05. Hardaway has been stymied since that big start. No points in the quarter. His Mashburn for 3. That's off the mark. Starks way up in the air. Almost lost it.
Almost lost it. Just like Larry Johnson taking threes, right now Mashburn taking threes. The Knicks will take that shot all day.
Hardaway guards Childs. They look for Houston in the post. And Hardaway takes it away. Hardaway for 3. Yes!
What a big turnover. You keep waiting for Tim Hardaway. And Jeff Van Gundy says, you know, for 3 quarters, Hardaway usually doesn't hurt us. Well, he did in the first, but it's the fourth quarter where Hardaway is known for making big shots.
Childs penetrates, kicks it back to Starks. Now they get in the hands of Larry Johnson with 5 on the shot clock. Childs, no. Dudley, tip. Loose ball, 2 more, no. And Murdoch has it for Miami. A 5-point game run to 2 minutes.
What a wild play.
Murdoch guarded by Houston.
They want to get into Hardaway's hands.
Dudley watches Mourning left side. Knocked out of bounds by Child.
Good reach. Well, watch the steal here. Chris Childs is not looking at Hardaway. He's just looking at Houston. That's why he turned the ball over. And then they went to sleep. Hardaway knew he was taking that shot the entire way down the court.
Time called with 1:37 to go. So you're Alonzo Mourning and you've got 5 fouls. Do you get conservative?
No, not Alonzo Mourning. What did John Thompson say? He only knows one way to play. I mean, look at this. Is this desperation from both teams? Grabbing, clawing, fighting, hitting, bumping. And who gets the ball? Wonder Dog, Eric Murdoch, the guard.
And the timeout story, Miami has 1 full remaining. New York, 3. Neither has a 20. Neither a foul to give. 8 on the shot clock as Mashburn gets set the inbound to play.
Well, they're starting already. Mourning and Dudley are going at it. Joe Forte telling Patrick Ewing to sit down.
And Jeff Van Gundy chatting with Joe. 1:37 in regulation. 5-point game. Here's Hardaway. Just scored the big 3. Takes another shot. Got it.
Oh, here he goes. Big shot, Tim Hardaway.
33 points for Hardaway. And a 3-point game. If Miami wins, they close out New York. They'll meet Indiana. If the Knicks win, Game 5 Sunday in Miami.
I think this comes down to Allen Houston making a shot.
Dudley. Not the guy you want shooting the ball.
He shouldn't have shot it. When he got it, he should have threw it back out to Allen Houston. You almost feel that Tim Hardaway's going to make a shot.
Back to Mashburn. Johnson out on it. Mashburn. No. Rebound Houston. Starks. Hardaway's back. Murdoch behind him. Wild pass underneath, but they get it from Houston.
That was an ugly break. You wanted ugly, you got ugly. I mean, look at this. Oh, wow.
Sometimes you got to get lucky.
Yeah.
The NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by cold, refreshing Zima. Zima, a few degrees cooler. By Lexus. The future of Lexus is here. Fasten your seatbelts. By Fila. A new attitude. New performance. Change the game. By AT&T. It's all within your reach. And by AutoZone. The best parts in auto parts.
The lady looks on, an 8-point game, and sometimes the New York Knicks redefine sloppy.
I mean, this is unbelievable. A no-look, over-your-head pass, a falling out of bounds pass, and a layup. It was so bad, it was good.
Tim Hardaway, the last 5 points, was held scoreless for 17 minutes.
He's uncanny. He is one of those uncanny ball players. You just know he's going to make the shot. Watch him create space. Crossover, gives him room, bang.
50 seconds to go. Childs picks up Hardaway. Alonzo Mourning sets the pick. Dudley gets back. Leonard looks inside for Alonzo Mourning. Foul on Dudley.
Oh, and I think Alonzo Mourning came down on Dudley's foot. I don't know if it was a knee or a twisted ankle. But I know it hurts. Let's take a look, Vern. Oh, that's a knee.
Dudley's 5th foul. Oakley back on the floor. Dudley gave an effort.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of suit and ties, but this is a blue-collar city.
Alonzo Mourning 5 of 9 at the free throw line tonight. Shoots 2. Portland, Los Angeles getting ready to tip out in Portland. We'll take you there as quickly as we can. That's the second game of our doubleheader on TNT. Mourning shoots one more. Timeout, New York. 36.8 left in regulation. Heat won game 1, lost game 2 at home. They came up here and regained home court advantage by winning here Tuesday night, 91-85. And Alonzo Mourning back at the line, shooting 1. He and Hardaway, the story offensively for Miami in the fourth period.
And you see rest of the team, 2 points. That was Eric Murdoch. How about Deshaun Leonard, 28 points in game 3, 2 points tonight. Now, the reason Mourning and Hardaway are having big games because the Knicks have decided, you two beat us, we're not going to let everyone else get involved in the act. And so far, it has worked for the Knicks.
One more for Mourning. Made them both. The lead is 3, 36.8 to go.
Now, Jeff Van Gundy called that timeout to make sure his team got into a play.
Under 30. Allen Houston pops out, guarded by Deshaun Leonard. They'll run an isolation. 10 on the shot clock. Hardaway comes to help. Giles will penetrate. Dishes to Johnson. No. Offensive board, and he's fouled.
Larry Johnson, second shot. He has turned in to Moses Malone tonight. He misses his own shot and he gets it back. That's the 4th time tonight that Larry Johnson has gotten an offensive rebound off his own shot. Moses Malone is clapping somewhere right now.
6 offensive rebounds tonight. He's got half of them. He shoots 2.
Biggest free throw of the season for the Knicks.
Deshaun Leonard sneaks back down the floor. John Starks telling Oakley, you come back down here and get on the line. I'll get Deshaun Leonard.
And Oakley's looking at Starks like, relax, my man.
We'll follow Stark and raving.
Oh, yes.
Point game.
Watch Tim Hardaway.
Hardaway, no. Rebound, New York. And fists are flying at the other end. Larry Johnson is one of them.
Here we go.
Oakley and Mourning have at each other.
And both of those guys will not play in game 5. I guarantee you that.
Van Gundy out.
I don't know if it was Oakley. I couldn't see.
I saw Johnson throwing punches.
I think it was Larry Johnson.
Pat Riley has made so much, as have his teammates, of the composure of Alonzo Mourning the last half of the season.
I thought it was Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning, and it's just awful. This has been a great series.
Marred once again. I did see Larry Johnson throw punches. They may have been retaliatory. We'll get to the replays and see.
Oh, it was both of them. It was both guys.
Mourning and Johnson. Yep. Yeah, it was Johnson and Mourning all the way.
And that's old blood. That's old blood from Charlotte. And you hate to see it because Alonzo Mourning has been just great with his temper in the second half of the season.
There was the first punch. Neither one of them connected.
No, but it's just awful.
But it's just, well, for the second year in a row. Watch again. Alonzo Mourning throws the first punch.
Well, there's one right there, and that's what got it going. And then the push back, and then there's the punch. Fortunately for these guys, they are both awful fighters. Not needed.
Van Gundy was out quickly.
And interesting.
Last year it happened in Game 5 in Miami. Tonight it happens in Game 4 in New York. Look at Van Gundy. Saw it and sprinted off the bench. And immediately tried to pull Alonzo Mourning away from Larry Johnson.
Well, that's the old rule. You always grab the opposing player and not your own, but way to ruin a good game.
Teammates, though not close teammates, in Charlotte.
And look at Van Gundy down at the bottom of your screen. That's just Van Gundy just holding on.
This one is in the books.
I look at Hugh Evans, and he just said ridiculous. He just looked over us and said ridiculous.
And here's a small paradox of the night. There will be a Game 5. It will be played in Miami. You can watch it on NBC. The New York Knicks tie the series at 2, but the game will be forever remembered by the fracas at the end involving Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, John, such an emotional day for you, starting out in Tulsa with your mother and your grandmother, coming here, hard fought, 17 points off the bench, and then the incident at the end. How can you sum up what just happened?
Well, you know, first of all, I'd like to give thanks to God for, carrying me down there and letting me see my mother and my grandmother. I just needed to see the smile on their face, and that game was for both of you all. So I just want to say thanks, thank God once again. And Knicks organization who flew me in, I want to give them a lot of thanks because they didn't have to do that, and they showed a lot of generosity in doing that. But summing up what happened tonight, you know, it was a great win for us. You know, even though the fight broke out, it still was a great win. You know, we had to shave off elimination tonight, and now we get to go up to Miami.
You were on the court at the time. What happened between Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning?
I'm not sure. You know, I got the rebound, and I was heading up court, and by the time I turned around, I looked around, and you know, they was down there doing their thing. So you know, I'm not sure what happened. So you know, we can't worry about that right now. We have to you know, focus on what's going to go down in Miami, and you know, hopefully we have both guys there.
They were former teammates in Charlotte. Have they always had bad blood between them on the court?
I'm not sure. You have to ask both of them. I can't comment on that. You know, that's between Larry and Alonzo. I'm not sure.
After what happened last year, your teammates obviously learned not to come on the court during the fight. But your teammates learned not to come on the court during the fight.
That just God putting us to a test. And, you know, this test, I was thinking about that coming in. Same type of scenario, you know, Game 6 last year where we lost. And we had to go up there to Miami without myself as well as Larry. And, you know, we lost the game up there. So it's deja vu.
Thanks. Let's go back to Vernon Dock.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. There will be a Game 5. It will be in Miami on Sunday. Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson will watch it in civilian clothes. Final of the New York Knicks live to play another game, 90-85. Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning in the fight at the end. Details will be forthcoming on Inside the NBA. But coming next, the Lakers and the Blazers, Game 4 on TNT.